I'm gonna try this out. I had no connection. But
Yeah.
long story short, yeah, I come from humble beginnings, and it's really pretty much been all about me just trying to find out who I am and discovering who I am. And as a Black woman, growing up in America,
Yes,
and yeah,
especially.
so yeah, that and I find that so I've always been pushed to a certain degree or limit to kind of dig deep and find out, how I can create like my own lane. I
Mm.
think that is something that we all are doing, especially African American individuals living abroad as well. Like leave not only just limited to United States. I think, yeah, just coming up as a brown girl, say Black and brown
I'm
girl.
gonna say woman too. Yeah,
Yeah, it really pushed me really, really hard,
yeah.
to kind of try to find out my own lane and find out my creativity, touch into my inner creativity. So we'll get into that a little bit as
Later. Oh, and I forgot to mention she also used to sing, right? And yeah, was it just singing? Did you do any other thing
I,
around?
thank you so much for bringing that.
Hi, welcome back to the Acacia Hanson podcast. Today we're on the show with something a bit different. I'm expanding. Um, Part of the reason for this show is because I want to display as much of my interests. How can I say, as much of my interests in the world and gather as many people that I know about that interest to interview so I can both learn and also promote them and all that good stuff. So today we have Kamilah Walker all the way from the United States. Um, she's a content creator, marketing genius, I think, as well. And she loves, is it makeup tutorials or, well,
I love to do. I kind of created my own lane
right.
because, yeah, because
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
it's so challenging and it's so competitive. The beauty world, the beauty industry, and
Yeah.
given I am as as a Black woman, a female, find it really hard. So I came up with to describe my beauty platform. It's beauty artistry.
Okay.
That's
Beauty
the creation.
artistry. Yeah,
Yeah,
got
a
you.
beauty artistry. So
Beauty
yeah, I
artistry.
just yeah I have to take it to that route because I don't have like an endorsement with beauty products, or I don't have my own product line or anything. So I'm always promoting and advertising um, products,
Like with
that I
the
see.
shop, like you've
Yeah.
tried it,
So,
like reviews.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I kind
lovely, lovely.
of
Sorry, I mixed up that whole introduction. I was like, oh look, because you've got such a wide band of things that you can do, like the content creation. You make beautiful stuff and so many things. But to start off the interview, so we can like lay it all out. Can you tell us where you're from and I guess you state your titles for me in the way that you would say it.
Yes, and it's funny that you put it that way because a lot of people, I'm Kamilah Walker, by the way, married with one daughter, been married for 21 years. sorry, correction, 18 years. I've been with my husband for 21 years. And I do get that a lot. What do you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, what do you do? I am from Mississippi. I'm
Mm,
born and raised. I moved to Kansas City in 2009.
mm.
2000, I took the move. We transitioned here for just better, for just to have a better life. And there's no attachment or connection with Kansas City. It's just, hey, like my mom was here at the time. It was just a move, like for better. It was a random visit to her, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. I had no connection. But
Yeah.
long story short, yeah, I come from humble beginnings, and it's really pretty much been all about me just trying to find out who I am and discovering who I am. And as a Black woman, growing up in America,
Yes,
and
it's
yeah,
special.
so yeah, that and I find that so I've always been pushed to a certain degree or limit to kind of dig deep and find out, how I can create like my own lane. I
Mm.
think that is something that we all are doing, especially African American individuals living abroad as well. Like not only just limited to United States. I think, yeah, just coming up as a brown girl, say black and brown
I'm gonna
girl.
say woman too. Yeah,
Yeah, it really pushed me really, really hard,
yeah.
to kind of try to find out my own lane and find out my creativity, touch into my inner creativity, So we'll get into that a little bit as
Later. Oh, and I forgot to mention she also used to sing, right? And yeah, was it just singing? Did you do any other thing
I,
around?
thank you so much for bringing that up.
Yeah,
I I don't proclaim that I'm a singer or I aspire to sing. I do not,
well,
but
but she
I
does.
did raise
Touch
up.
my eyes.
Yeah. I, I did. I was raised up in the church
Oh,
and
me
in a
too.
Baptist.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I was raised up in a Baptist church, and I grew up singing in the church choir in a Baptist church.
yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
all of my I would if I was still living back home because I was like 26 years old when I moved away. So if I was still living there, I would still be in the choir. But I moved, and it was a small church family type of environment.
Yeah,
And when I moved, I kind of missed that. I missed that. But what came first was me finding Camellia and what's best for her and her life and her future. So I had to neglect and abandon my church home and my church family and singing in the choir. I really so I sung back. I sung music. I love music. Period. That is where. In case you didn't know, Miss Accasia, since you're based in Australia, over here,
yeah,
um, where I'm from, the state Mississippi,
yes.
that is known for the birthplace for music. That's
Really? Wow.
because you probably
Wow.
know something. Yeah, that's considered because every state has what they're known for. Like
Yeah.
Missouri, like the state that I'm in now, where currently reside now, is Missouri. It's considered show me state. So every state has their tagline and what they represent. So my state is
Georgia
the home.
peaches, right? Like peaches and
Yeah, yep, yeah.
Mississippi. Yeah.
So my home state is also considered known as the hospitality state
Ooh,
and the place of music. That's the
yeah.
main two things that state is built on: hospitality and the birth of music. And I'm not really all of that swell with education and getting on point with education, so I won't touch that. But it all became with the history of slavery, of course, being into slavery back then, way back then. But yeah, that's how I come to love where we're
Music.
introduced exposed to music coming up as a child, and I listened to a lot of different type of genres of music. But
Yeah.
during the day, I was singing in the choir in my Baptist church family choir. It was all about really gospel. It was about quartet gospel, and I'll drop a few names because I think that it's best to kind of like give people the vibe of how who I am and
Mm.
what I love, the
And
type of
how many
music.
layers you have.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
music that I grew up listening to was I don't know if you heard it, but hopefully the potential listeners and the viewers that were tuning in, they will get it.
Yeah, probably.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh wow, the Clark sisters, they were my favorite. They were
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna
gotta
look
be
these up. I'm gonna look these up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the Clark sisters, and they you brought the sunshine. I used to love that song. I don't know if we can quote music on
Oh
here.
yeah,
Quote.
yeah, yeah, you can do
Okay,
whatever you like.
okay,
You can do whatever you like, relax. But
okay.
yeah, the thing is with American music, the only things that went really commercial went worldwide. The areas that I was into, the TV, and back in the day was just the radio station and TV. There wasn't that much access to worldwide music, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
yeah, continue the Clarksons. Did you say
the Clark sisters. They were a gospel quartet,
Clarksons?
a
Yeah.
female, yeah, female gospel quartet. And they were really a great gospel group, a great gospel. Sorry, just
Okay,
getting a call. Sorry about that.
that's okay.
How did I blink off or something?
Yeah, you just looked up for 2 seconds, but you're still on camera now.
Someone is trying
Calling
to.
you. Do you think
Yeah.
you can pick up with that? You can answer it. I'll just cut the segment out.
Okay. I was trying. I don't need to answer it.
Okay.
Yeah, I ended it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, my apologies. Hopefully that don't
Okay.
interrupt anything. But yeah, I grew up with them and Kirk Franklin and so
Oh,
many more.
I know Coke
Yeah,
Franklin.
yeah. They
Yeah.
came here. They came here to Kansas City back in September, the end of September, and
Oh.
I went to the concert. I did a live stream about
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Oh. I
So
wish
I
I
went
were
and
there.
experienced. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I grew up, and there's another quartet singer. He's now deceased. He was an older singer, a gospel artist. His name was Lee Williams, and the Spiritual QCs. And he was like our favorite. He was back where I'm from, in my home state, like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
But he ruled and dominated the quartet world, the gospel quartet world. And God rest his soul, he was my favorite. And so many more. Harvey Watkins Jr. and the Canton Spirituals. There, all of these are besides the Clark sisters, who are. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Uh, who are based out of. Oh God, how can I turn my calls off?
Do you have Do Not Disturb?
Um, I don't need to answer it. It's, you know how like the spam calls,
Oh, those
they
spam people, right? But it doesn't matter. Like any, if it delays long, I'll just take it out. But it should be
okay,
fine.
okay, yeah, but it
Yeah.
still seems like I'm here talking.
Yeah, yeah, I can still see just flashes for like a
Yeah.
second. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah. And so and in those days, wow, it was really like that's where I was really involved in music heavily.
yeah,
And in my off days from not being so, devoted to church and ministry, I would break away in the worldly music as
music.
well. And
Before you
so,
tell us what you listed in there, what like because I was in a chamber choir, so I was alto. Do you know
mhm.
what type of singer you are? Are you low or high or
Yeah, I was gonna get there. I was gonna answer. I was alto. I was all
oh
I was soprano and alt and alto. I kind of
wow, you could do
uh,
both.
I
Wow, I
do both. I
might do
do both.
soprano.
But I will give credit where credit due. I never know who this video might reach, and I want to make sure I set the record straight
Yeah,
about my vocal ability. I was
yeah,
always a background singer, but I grew up. I had an aunt. My
yeah,
all of my family members, because pretty much they could take the lead in singing and sampling music and just following along. But
yeah.
my aunt who was the main soprano in my choir, they're back home. She has a beautiful soprano, high pitched soprano voice, and she really has a great melody. So when she would not be able to um, perform or come, and come to our concerts or where we had to our engagement were to sing, and I would replace her. I would kind of be a support, and substitute for her. But my main pitch was alto. I was alto.
I'll
Yeah.
tell yes, yes. Watch your money. I'm gonna bring the gospel church to her and bring it
Yeah.
online. Watch. Watch. But you were about to tell me you started to venture out and listen. You ventured also into worldly music. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Oh my God, yes. I'm kind of so like I feel bad because I grew up with a lot of Christian values
Yeah.
and really, really, and so yeah, I found myself straying away into like tapping into the worldly music where
Yeah.
I love and I discovered some of the world's most famous artists, especially in the genre of hip hop and R&B.
Yes.
R.
Yeah.
Kelly, and all the trap, music stars.
Yeah.
Um, I won't get into calling their names, but yeah, I dibbled and dabbled, and I use some of that music to create some of my content as
Yeah,
background music.
I've noticed. I love your taste. I'm like, hey, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I
That's
kind of
it.
play with a little, even though I'm really, really kind of like a Christian woman with a lot of Christian values. But yeah, I find myself sampling music, different genres with my content and just having fun. And like you said earlier about me, one quality, like no judgment. I try to stay in that no judgment zone and
Yeah,
give every artist and
yeah.
and
See,
creative or with their creativity, give them
expression, Yeah.
yeah, give their respect to
Mhm.
express themselves because
Yeah,
life be life in.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your
Mhm.
taste in music goes perfectly with your personality because, like, since I've known you, I've just watched how open you are to receive so many people, especially with online presence. You meet
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot. You know what I
Can
mean?
I touch on that just a
Yeah,
little bit? Touch on that. I think it's fair to kind of touch on this a little bit. I'm
yeah.
so and I think that's one of my downfalls because I'm always so guarded about what I need to say and what I should not say, and that
Yeah.
has not worked in my best interest.
No.
But to answer your point about me being open armed to everyone and embracing everyone regardless of their socioeconomic status or their background or who they are.
Mm,
um, I embrace them all of their shortcomings. And I was even told that, hey, you're affiliated with that. Like, I think that is my you know, hold up or my hiccup with me as far as like career, as
mm,
far as like relationships,
mm,
because I find myself really having a real heart and understanding, and like you said, no judgment. And so I've really lost a lot of endorsements, and just being honest, um, because I've found my own way to kind of walk in my shoes and my own journey with Camellia, and yeah, and I just refuse to let anyone dictate on, me on who I should affiliate and involve myself with, because I think we all as people we have the potential to be great. We
yeah.
all, when we connect and join, you never know what's going to come about it. You never know what, you'll be able to create or what will come from it. So I don't undermine anyone. I don't care how they look or how they lack in any area. I don't undermine it because you never know the ability to savage something and it be great.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's the thing.
Um,
So yeah, it kind of makes me sad a little bit that I
yeah.
am handled that way
Yeah.
because of my choices,
Um,
who I decide to involve myself with or be in a relationship or
yeah.
marry. So, but
Yeah.
but 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 nevertheless, I'm blessed.
You're
So
black.
because being that way, God has blessed my me to accomplish so much, to
Yes.
accomplish so much, overcome so
Yeah.
much. So it's all a blessing. It's I
Gets
kind of all.
greater later for those that do right, So, like,
Mhm.
like I feel like people, especially with your church background and your big heart, and you're open to everyone. It invites good and bad, unfortunately, and like I just have to hold faith that it's gonna get greater later because, this world is tough,
Yes.
judgmental, but thou shalt not judge.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
should not judge. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I I just kind of put myself in that person's shoes and just have an open mind. I
Yeah.
hope in mind, like, what if that was you? Uh,
Yeah.
so I always try to come from a place of like just being an uplifting, being encouraging, being motivational. Because guess what? The tables could turn at any time. And I just may need the least someone to come and help me and help support me and lift me up. And I can be doing like 100, but I don't still have like support like where I needed to help me out. So it just doesn't pay you well to kind of dismiss or undermine the small person or the
Right.
person that you feel that is not this or that. It's just yeah. And but just yeah, and I'm glad that you pointed that out. That it really kind of hurts me that people have that mindset. It just kind of lets me know that, okay, you know what? They just have a little bit more living to do about life and learning about life.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
obviously life will throw you some curveballs and
Yeah, you never
it'll
know.
make you
Yeah.
think twice about how you treat people, you
Yeah,
know.
and don't be the person that crushes somebody's dreams because
Yeah,
nobody, nothing happens overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. That might be their first, second, 100th time and they're tired or whatever, or that stage in their life. You don't know, so you shouldn't judge. Nobody's been perfect their whole life. Yeah,
yep. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then be perfect and everything can be going good, but you don't know what the future will hold.
yeah. You don't have no clue.
Yeah.
You have no
Yeah. So we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful of and how our energy come across when
clue.
it comes to, how we handle people because
Yeah,
they have feelings too, and they won't forget if they get affected or impacted by, you know, how you're coming across as
yeah.
you know what I mean. So they won't, especially if it's in disingenuous or in any way, and to where yeah, they can remember people, sometimes what's the saying? People we never forget. We can forgive, but we don't forget.
Yeah, yeah. And like
Yeah.
when if you kick somebody when they're down, when you're down, the Lord will send you somebody just like yourself. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's what I want. I want to be in a situation and in a position to where like, hey, I want to get and get that same treatment that I give. I
Yeah.
want to treat it, the same way that I
Yeah.
treat
Yeah. I always treat people how I
I
want to be
go
treated.
far
Yeah.
for.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that question or that point out. Thank
Oh,
you so much.
I'm glad. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad too because I got to see another side of you, which is beautiful, you know. But can you tell us a bit about because the main thing on the internet streets these days is content creation. Can
Yeah.
you tell us about like this is hard because I wanted that's why I start off with let's explain some other things because this all comes this can how can I say can all go under the umbrella of content creation. So I don't know how you're gonna best explain your journey with content creation because it didn't just start with the monetization part of it. It is what you do. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I'm glad to clear that up. I'll be honored to make it sense to some people who are
Yeah,
just diving into it and jumping into it.
yeah,
Um, yeah, as I've said before, my involvement on this book started when this application like
yeah,
surfaced, like first surfaced. So I was in college. So I used it to my advantage just to make it all simple and sweet. I
yeah,
used it to my advantage back in early days of trying to form my business and my LLC,
yeah,
and I was brainstorming on business ideas and and trying to figure out what is the best business approach or idea for me to create or have. I was inspired to be a business owner,
mhm,
but I struggled so bad at trying to find out, okay, what do I want to do? Like, do I want a product or a service?
mm,
And that's where I caught a hard rock, and I'm like, okay, I saw that my odds, that I was and still am faced with when it comes to a Black female,
yeah,
trying business or in entrepreneurship.
yeah,
So back in the days of like 2012 is where I found my LLC, and I was like, okay. Again, the odds were stacked way, way high, and I wanted to self-proclaim the role of in my business venture of being a marketing and networking consultant expert,
yeah,
operator,
yeah,
and my all in my one woman show venture.
yeah,
So I came up with this idea back then that I was going to advertise what I'm doing, roll out my company. roll out my business plan, promote myself on Facebook.
Yes, yes, Facebook here. She deserves a promotion. Yeah,
Because back then you got to look at it. Facebook was on during that time before all of these aversions and features that we're
coming
experiencing now.
now. Yeah,
Yeah, back then it was only built around okay, friends, family, just
yeah,
Facebook,
yeah,
family engagement, just sharing family moments, and
yeah,
I'm like, forget all of that. Like I don't have much leverage here. Like I need to like see who I can market and appeal to, and
yeah,
who can support me and support Camellia. And it's really, and it wasn't really just all about like business. It was just really more about me personally too,
yeah,
with family and everything. But it was business. It was the idea on my personal platform to showcase and advertise what I was doing way back then.
yeah.
And I would accept strangers as friends
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
advertise.
Ele, ele, ele.
Back then, it was against the law. It was hideous.
Stranger
It was
danger.
like, yeah, it was dangerous. It was high risk. It was like,
Yeah.
how can you be a friend to a stranger like you don't know them? Why would
So,
you a timeline? But my mind was like, okay, I'm trying to promote. And then fast forward, look at all these groups and these
yeah,
communities on
yeah.
Facebook.
This wasn't there like before. Hell no. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and
yeah,
it's like they have revolutionized the way networking and with
yeah,
strangers work. It's like so amazing. I'm like, wow, okay, this is
yeah.
what kind of like concept that I started when I was just accepting like for people that I didn't know as friends. So
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
but yeah,
Now you
like
got followers. That was never there.
that
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
those changes that
yeah.
we're now, embracing and utilizing on the app, right? So yeah, so that's
She
how it
was
all
born ready for
started.
this, you see?
Yep, yep. Miss Accasia, that's the timeline.
Yeah.
That's the timeline of how I evolved
How you
and
been doing this? Yeah.
what my dedication is.
Yeah.
And now I am so eager to go and work for other platforms.
Yeah.
And it's because, yeah, there's a lot of advantages and benefits to Facebook, like you were saying, even though sometimes you say it's like old and
Yeah.
everything like, yeah, I'm old school too.
Yeah.
I don't do more of the stage performances type of content.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Yeah, it was really, I'm still in that mode. I'm still back in that mode of 2016 when I was when I formed my LLC and I tried to promote myself, promote what I was doing, promote my family, promote me. It's all been me.
Yeah.
And did come in and say, well, I didn't put myself out there. And that's why I felt the need to kind of be like, explain my history,
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
my history to Facebook and my ties. Like I was originally on here.
Yeah.
So all of
Already. I
all of
didn't just wake
all of
up
these
yesterday and
benefits,
start doing it
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the benefits
100%.
that opened up to me. And I just kind of felt like, oh, wow. So when I got the invitation as like to to the program and got the recognition of being a content creator, and it was like, wow, I just felt like, wow, this is this it it was caught like my idea kind of met. It was like because I felt like I was so foreign. I felt like what I was bringing to the table as a marketing consultant, a networking, operation or manager. I kind of felt like I was foreign, to a lot of people and things or whatever. But yeah, and I said that to say this. I think the average minded person kind of really always feel, especially women, females like me, and in my situation, and I think they always pressured and feel like they should put a product out. They should have something like a product, and that is one of the things that I challenged myself on. So that's why I kind of made it really hard for people to kind of identify, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I think like, the average minded individual, especially, women and men of color like me, feel that pressure to kind of feel like they have to go sing. No pun intended. It's just I was just making my point.
Mhm.
Um, they have to have a product, they have to have a place of business, they have to have, and it really kind of limits you. It limits you on what you can become, and create your own lane and express who you are and put your voice out there. Just
Yeah.
being you unapologetically, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, and I think that that's where we get lost at sometimes. And don't get me wrong, don't take me the wrong way. People that are listening, tuning in, we still need money. We still
Yeah.
need money to. We still need money to move. That product in the hand is going to get some money eventually.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
internet
so that's
data.
yeah. So it's knock or discourage people, but
Yeah.
I was just a point that I think that we've always had that pressure that on us that if we did not have those type of things in hand as a business owner or a product that we won't be successful or we won't be anybody or we won't be heard is my point trying to clear up. So those were the things back in my days and my study time and me, trying to form my business and build my strategies and my concepts and things like that. So it was pretty much plain and simple, me just kind of like discovering Kamilah and what is best for Kamilah in my role and in my lane. So yeah. So there's a lot of things that I have, yeah, that
Yeah, and your thinking, sorry to interrupt you, your thinking was ahead of the game because before, like when you have a product or a service, there was all this fake advertisement and you don't know the person behind the brand or the people working for the
uh
brand. But now
yeah,
people crave authenticity and the person behind the brand before they shop or do anything. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you've got internet history about it and it lasts forever. That's why I encourage you to pull out all those old files and check your Facebook
Yes,
memories.
oh my God. I had a big book and I had a catalog of concepts and my strategies, and I'm like, okay, nobody wants to hear me. Like I was going into a deep space with it to
Yeah,
try to find out how how can I best come across
yeah,
on me and what I'm doing or what I would come to do,
yeah,
how I would market, how me would
yeah.
market whatever I'm doing,
You got
whoever.
a lot of rich internet real estate. You do. You do not just on one platform as well. It's just, it's up to you when you feel like, oh, I want to go down memory lane and take all that content out
Yeah,
or back off it because it's new to somebody. It's new to
yes.
somebody. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's nothing never gets old.
I got so happy when I was on with the paid content creator title.
Mm.
And it felt so good. It felt so good. It made me feel like all of those days where I was racking my head and my brain, it just made me feel like it wasn't in vain. It
Value.
wasn't familiar. It wasn't in vain. And the
Yeah,
things that and the omission that you have taken when it comes to your business, your approach and your professionalism, and it's not in vain either.
yeah,
It's really a best choice and a best fit for me based on who I am, based
exactly.
on my experience, what I've gone in life as a young Black woman trying to find her way, and they have not all been good, but I have taken all the good with the bad, and yeah, and then just embrace it all because it made me who I am today, and I'm still in a work in progress. I still have room for improvement, but it's just like it was so gratifying. It was so gratifying to be rewarded with that title and that recognition. It was so gratifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Uh, okay. Let me think a bit more about content creation before we move on to the next question. With content creation, like, um, no, let me move to the next question. I was gonna dig deeper into that, but the last question not one of the next questions will do that. So, when it comes to content creation, like engaging with the audience, because the question I was gonna ask was to do with when Facebook first started, people didn't, like you mentioned, engaging with strangers, and people
Yeah.
were very wary. So reactions to what you're doing, even reactions weren't there. It was just a like button, no comments at one stage, I think, and all that stuff came later. So the self motivation to and how do you know to please your audience when, like, in particular, I want you to also touch on to when you think nobody's watching you.
Yes, that's a great point, and that's a great
Yeah.
question. But to answer the first part of your question, um, the great thing about Facebook and using the Meta platform is they provide you insightful tools to
Yeah.
help you understand And you don't really necessarily have to refer to that chart, that data to understand. You can simply just know by who's engaging with you. But there are some functionalities that you definitely need to employ
Yeah.
to kind of get that, to trigger the at your algorithm with your page and to for reaches, you know. But I've learned to better answer your question to make it more sense. I learned by just engaging and getting the audience a response about my content and what they want to see.
Yeah.
And I pay attention to what my audience is engaging with the most and the comments. And I pay attention to that just literally, besides, tapping into and reading into the insights.
Yeah.
Um, I hate charts. Charts can be so they can
Yeah.
intimidating. Yeah, they can be so intimidating, but just to like quite frankly, to just learn like who is really like what they want to see, the content that they want to see. Um, I put out, I know when they tell me, hey, we want to see, they flat out tell you that we want to see more makeup content, you
Yeah.
know. And my makeup content and beauty content gets the most, reaction.
Right.
Um it gets the most engagement. My makeup and beauty content. Well, the beauty world, the beauty business is $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so
Right.
and it's like me just kind of just doing my market research, just doing my research into understanding and knowing what drives the traffic, just not with my platform, but just what people are appealing to, like just studying it as a whole. You know what I mean? Just starting studying and analyzing it as a whole. Like that's what people gravitate towards. And yeah, and that's where I get the most. But let me say this, so I won't come across as if I am like steering into like a lane that is not my lane. Well, like I said earlier, I came up in the church singing choir. I also was the girl in my family that did the makeup. I
Okay.
would do the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I did the eyebrows. I did.
Hey.
I, I was a makeup girl doing my
Yeah.
aunts, doing
Yeah.
my cousin's makeup and their eyebrows, doing my makeup, I tested out lashes for the first time back then. Well, not lashes like as a little girl, but with mascara, with lipstick, the pressed powder, and just like it was like. But I had sorry, but I had a passion for it. I had a passion for makeup. So that's pretty much where I can really just get lost with it and get creative with it because it's really been a passion for mine since the beginning, since
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I love it. So and I noticed that I do get that feedback that hey, we want to see more of makeup. We want to see makeup. And that's the title. Even though I am a self-proclaimed, sorry about that.
No,
Sorry,
no.
even though I'm a self-proclaimed like network marketing consultant or guru, I people once they tend to label or give me the beauty makeup artist a label or
Yeah.
anything.
100%. I give it to you too because I seen some of your work and I'm like, damn. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But you asked though, how do I know like what? Yeah, the
Like,
insights,
like,
like
like in
the
particular, at the
insights.
beginning, the first time you posted makeup, like how
Yeah.
did you keep on going to where you were hearing the audience say they want to, or was that from the beginning? Because that's possible too. That the minute you posted, people were like, "Yep,
Yeah, I did not get received well when I was trying to promote like what I was doing.
yeah,
I didn't get received well. They was like, okay, what kind of business? Like what are you like
yeah."
what kind of
They
business?
didn't know
Because
about it. Yeah, yeah, it's
it
new.
goes back to like me, what the odds that me trying to be a businesswoman and not have any type of partnership or endorsement behind my name, to be, to be claim a business or entrepreneur. It's like not taken seriously. But I was really in my days of digging real deep into trying to like create my own lane as a Black business owner, grassroots entrepreneur, and my own building, founding finding my own principles and concepts, particularly when it comes to marketing me and being a marketer or being a social media marketer. So yeah, and just being a woman, it really was kind of like wow, I was kind of like at odds
Yeah,
with when it came to like being supported, being receptive. So it always that, and I'm proud of myself for it because I have so much passion for what I believe in and what I know that works for me. I don't really just let it get to me. That's where me kind of like I'll turn to like beauty and
Yeah.
makeup to just kind of lift myself up, and pick myself up and fix myself up, and don't cry about it.
Yeah.
I've gotten I've gotten the content creator title, and that is just really in the
Yeah.
influencer. My
Yes.
has also been labeled as an official influencer.
Paid
Already.
it off. Like when I got that, I was like, "Hey!" I was like, "Yes, God, thank you!" Like because it is you believe in your work, you really
I
do,
believe that.
and it's like why don't people see it? But finally they do, you know? Yeah,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
learned looking back, I'm like, oh wow, like just because I didn't get that reaction that I was looking for
I
about
was
when I was.
onto something. Yeah,
Yeah, I got yeah. So obviously someone's taking note. Like like someone was taking notes, because the algorithm picked it up and it say, okay, now it's the first time you're considered a content creator,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
influencer,
yeah.
and I'm like, wow, and you're getting paid and you're
Yeah, and
earning.
you had to learn that from no one. Yeah, that was all you. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, dopeness. Um, um, how do you prioritize your work since it's such multitasking? Like, for instance, let's say you're posting content from the posting to the actual doing the makeup and the shopping, like so many things that go into just that one post. Like, how do you prioritize the work? What's more important? Like, is it the engagement and promotion over the content make like so many different things like I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah,
Yeah. So
paradigm.
it's like I think it's something that we all in life juggle. I
Yeah,
think the best approach to have towards to that, because yeah, it's really hard. Like you got to look at. I'm like a wife. I'm a mom.
as
I
well,
run the.
as
I work. I have
as
to make a
well.
living. I have to make a living too. When the
Yeah,
social media stuff, one woman show ventures doesn't work. I still have to juggle and adjust,
yeah,
and all of the it's all of the above. And then with social media and trying to keep your place, I'm trying to secure my role, and I don't want to lose that. So everything is really like kind of like pressure, pressure,
yeah,
pressure.
pressure,
And
pressure.
again, you can't leave and neglect your real life responsibilities, such as your kid and
Uh,
and in their education. So how I take my approach, and because sometimes it can be really crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with the viewers, and I'm gonna be honest with you who is interviewing me. It can get kind of crazy. It can get really ugly. It can get really kind of like off balance for me. But what keeps me afloat is with the mindset of, okay, hey, the best way to keep things in priority is to kind of, when some things as they come, when things come, whether it's from your home, your family, real life business, online content creating, as it comes, you need to kind of like say, hey, ask yourself, is this something that's going to, hey, if I don't take care of this right now in the moment, is it something that I'm going to suffer the consequences for, face some hard repercussions on? You kind of have got to have a good grip on it.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and ask yourself that, and you need to kind of like just have that multitasking operative, and know how to kind of like be versatile and be like, okay, you know what, if I don't take care of this right now, this is something that could potentially cause a relapse or a hiccup. So that's how I kind of find the balance. I'm like, okay, you know what,
yeah,
yeah, and if this comes up, and if this doesn't, okay, I can push that back to the back burner.
yeah,
We can get,
yeah. So you're
yeah, but
constantly
again,
juggling and
I gotta
deciding
have
day by
good
day. Yeah,
knowledge and understanding on what could potentially be a catastrophe as a result of you putting it off on a back burner, or you're not
yeah,
addressing or
yeah,
handling the moment. Yeah.
yeah. All right, all right. Um, Okay, so we know makeup is one of the things, but what inspires you most today? And also business, of course, wanting to venture that way. But what is it that like gives you motivation and inspiration to wake up and do this daily?
Oh, because I trust my gut instincts about what I believe in.
Yeah.
My heart, my long nights of staying up and working and putting all of my heart and my tears, blood, sweat, and tears, and and my beliefs and what I believe, and it makes me feel good to know that I'm received, that I've and given the certification of entitlement to be like a content creator, an influencer. It that's so inspiring. It gives me so much motivation and a push. You know, I don't spend time nowadays trying to prove myself anymore, or trying to prove go overboard with proving who I am and what I believe. It's evident, it speaks for itself. And I always try to make sure I approach situations where, things are just self explanatory. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. That's the best approach to be. And I feel so empowered. I
Yeah.
feel, I feel really empowering to, to be viewed now and to be officially titled and
Yeah.
officially labeled.
Yeah.
And so that's really, really what and yeah, and that is me. That is me that
Is
I get to express and show Camellia, because that's what's been the energy that I have been dealing with and experiencing and facing all my life.
yeah.
Okay, that energy of okay, you don't belong, you're not welcome. You're not. I've had some hardships with that and experienced that. So now I have a platform. I have an opportunity to express me.
Yeah.
Express me, and just get up and voice and post and make announcements about show my family, show what I'm doing. Like I have that opportunity at my leisure to do that, and it makes me proud.
And
And I hope it
the
really.
independence. Yeah, definitely, definitely independence. Um, okay. When it comes to creating a piece of, let's say, makeup content, what's your
Okay.
process? What's your process like?
Let's-
Yeah.
okay. What
As far as like, does the inspiration, do you have a schedule, or do you just wait for inspiration from the sky, I guess? Or
okay.
like me, when it comes to writing music, I don't have a schedule. It's just I get the feeling, and then I go with it, and then create the content, and then market it. Yeah,
I base it around my moments. Because let's be real. Let's be real clear with everyone that's tuning in. Um, who doesn't? The question that we need to ask: who doesn't know how to do makeup?
yeah.
I think,
No, 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 no. A lot of people don't. I'm one of them. I know how to do some things, but like the things that I've seen makeup artists do online is incredible. Is incredible. It's an art.
yeah, but because we know how to put on makeup, we can go watch YouTube. Like we can't really say that we're a makeup artist, right? We can't say, because I always say aspiring, because I would love to, but to aspire to be like a makeup artist, meaning that I would love to do be Nia Long's makeup artist.
Yeah.
So let me just be clear, like even if you know how to put on makeup, it doesn't give you the right to say, okay, oh, I'm a makeup artist, I need a beauty platform. So that's why I felt the need to kind of dive in deeper about my role with the approach to the beauty world, to say
Yeah.
that beauty artistry is
Yeah.
what I self
Ah, okay,
that
gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah. So there's no time. There is no, it's more about me expressing, the glamour, being, the transformative beauty, the versatility where you can take your image with your beauty skills, you're showcasing your skills. And it's not so, and my platform is not just limited to the
Yeah,
actual.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask the next question with your the business side of things. How do you how what's your process for posting and just getting the content out there? What's your process for like
Um,
somebody that's
my, my
embarking like
process
they're
is
not organized?
really yeah, my process really is going live, like live streaming.
Yeah,
That's one of the main fronts to
yeah.
kind of like show and tell and explain my
You're very
involvement.
consistent. That's why I had to ask. You're very consistent, like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, yeah.
yeah, yeah, live stream, yeah, live stream, and it's pretty much, like, hey, the
It
training.
froze for 2 seconds. It froze for 2 seconds. But I'll just go back 2 seconds. What did you say?
It's more about it's not limited to just like the products that I'm using to create my makeup content. It's more of me just expressing in different ways and exploring different
How you
ways to come.
make yourself look good. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Like sharing tips like with your girlfriend, like, hey, guess what? Look,
Yeah.
look. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
with
just
it.
and like photography, good for having good photography
Yeah,
skills,
yeah,
um, having good, just knowing how to put that professional editing touch, and AI,
yeah.
and
But
then
that's
just
new. That's new. You're genuinely talented, and I want you to know that from outside that you're genuinely like very talented. I see your graphic work and your makeup, your looks, the way you dress on live, and all this beautiful stuff. Like 100%. AI is all right, but like you're very
yeah,
like authentically talented. Yeah,
yeah. Thank you. I try to balance it out. I try to
yeah. Keep up with the games.
mix it up. Yeah, mix it up a little. Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, love, bless. What advice do you give to somebody embarking on this journey? Like you tapped into some sides of it, but like I want you to tap into everything from self-care to every piece of advice you could just package for somebody that's like, I want to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Anything
yeah,
in life, even life
yeah.
advice, because you're very established in life.
Uh, yeah, I touched on it earlier with about social media training.
Yeah,
It's it. You definitely need social media training if you're just coming in at this point and you're taking it serious.
yeah,
It will be difficult. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to be honest. So that's why you need to take these type of approaches because it's so different now. The
yeah.
climate, the virtual climate is so different
Mm,
now. And you definitely want to pursue social media training of some sort, get educated,
yeah.
with
Knowledge is
with
power.
yeah, with policy, with the book, with the handbook, with the virtual handbook. Read a lot. There's a lot of information out there.
Oh, it's
Teach
YouTube
yourself.
everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You can self-teach. You can be self-taught by just educating yourself with all of the resources out there. That's first thing first. You can't go wrong because those are like the rules that you gotta operate by. So
yeah,
why wouldn't you? And then just kind of like on a experience level for me, just what I've experienced is I would say, yeah, be mindful what you engage in. Be mindful of engaging activities.
hmm everything lasts
Don't
except forever too. That's something also to be aware of. Yeah,
yeah, and just don't take it like too serious. Like don't take it too serious because I find a lot of issues and situations where people are just becoming too invested and they're getting their personal life, real life mixed in with the virtual life, and it's two separate entities, it's two separate things, it's just separate. And you got to know the balance, you got to know the difference, and you got to know and understand how to keep them separate. Like don't bring your personal problems, situations, and showcase it to others. That's yeah, you want to kind of refrain from that. I'm not saying don't get on your platform and use your platform to tell your story or tell what you're going through. That's different. That's a different situation. But yeah, we don't want to confuse personal life with the virtual life
yes.
and your journey and your aspirations to be a content creator.
Especially on
Um,
this side of things, professionalism is very important. Yeah,
yeah, professionalism is definitely that's another thing with me that I employ a lot. I employ a lot to be professional and use my professionalism at every chance I get. When nothing else works for me, I can always report to professionalism.
yeah,
In any given situation, and when all things else fails, I can rely on just coming across, professionally the best way that I can. That
Yeah.
has that has been my saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that has helped my reputation. That has helped my image. Is my ability
Mm.
to like get suited and booted with professionalism,
Yeah.
and that I don't understand why I got absent so scatterbrained. It's because I'm a little nervous.
Oh, no,
But
that's okay. I didn't even notice, Bless you. Bless you. Nah, you're fine. You're doing great. You're doing
so
great.
well, let me just take the time out here, and I'll get back to answering or wrapping up with the last question. But I'm just so excited, and I'm taking it in, and I'm using a lot of energy or exerting a lot of energy to try to keep my cool and
Oh,
not be
bless you.
excited because it's such a great
Bless you. But you should
opportunity.
have gone nuts. You should have been like, hey. Because you're such a beautiful person. I think you're a bit shy sometimes, even though you're not shy because you're live all the time.
I, people that follow me closely and supported me closely, they have even said it. They was like, "I watch you, and you've gotten better." So they know they can sense the shyness, and I'm so
Yeah,
shy, so
yeah.
shy.
But
Yeah, but
now you did
I love it.
fabulous. And you did exactly what I was hoping for, which is just open up to me and tell me your story. You know what I mean? Yeah, everything you know, like you did great. Trust me, trust me. So, oh yeah, you say advice. You already tapped in. Oh, it froze for a sec. Oh, you already tapped into. Okay, last place is professionalism. So when it comes and don't mix your work life with personal life, and then we went on to
social, social media life. Don't
yeah,
mix your
social
work.
media
Yeah,
life. Yeah, not work
yeah.
with yeah, yeah. Um, how important is like self-care? Because I feel that's really important because like I know when I first got monetized, like sometimes I used to do it in the past with different projects, but when I got monetized, I hardly slept. I was on it because with
Oh,
this type of job,
that's
it's 24/7 because every moment you could be doing something. Every moment of the day you could be doing something. And it's hard to tell yourself, go to sleep, you know?
yes. I
Yeah.
mean,
And you
everything that you
got
just
kids,
said, you
all
hit on
these.
it.
Yeah, you got a kid and all that. Yeah.
Yes, I have a kid. When you have kids, you hit it right on the nail when you said there is something that you can be doing like every minute of the second, and it's so easy to get off course with your real life, your present life that's staring you in the face, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, wow, but it's so much, when you're in control, you're in
Yeah.
control,
On
and it's like,
everything.
wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had thoughts of like, okay, do I need like to hire like a full team?
Yeah, you
Because
know what I
yeah,
mean? Oh
because
my
yeah.
God. Like really, because if you would have executed everything that you want to with the time you're given, everything will be like, psh. But because it's
Yes,
so much
yeah.
stuff, you never
So
get
much,
the job
you're right.
never gets done.
It's
Yeah.
never done, and then you always have to, stay. You're on their timeline about post, keep posting,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and those posts you required to comment.
Comment
So
and reply, and it's emotionally draining. Like I'm like smiling, laughing, and like it's just a roller coaster of emotions because you actually feel the engagement that you're having. You know?
yeah, and it's like, yeah, sorry. But yeah, I find the balance, just like I was just saying earlier. You gotta find a balance. Like, okay, what is going to put, like, if I don't take care of this now, if I don't handle this now, if I don't address this issue right,
Yeah,
okay, this have the potential to, me suffering like a backlash, or so a consequence. You know, gotta have a great good understanding about that, and just knowing how to kind of like be versatile, and
yeah,
and time management, of course.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very very important. But yeah, it can be personal. What I would recommend is for self-care: sleep. You gotta
Please.
you, sleep is so important. Don't have the proper mental health, and then the rest on your brain,
Oh Lord,
you
it's not
you
hard.
would be yeah, you would be thinking that you're doing something like
Not.
sufficient in the moment when it comes to content creating of any kind or anything with your profile. And if without the proper sleep and mental health, you can definitely get off course. You can get off key,
Not
make
hard. It takes
you can make huge
longer.
yeah, you can make huge mistakes. Trust me, that's been me.
Yeah,
Oh, anything
me
from
too.
grammar. grammar errors.
Oh, especially grammar. You think you're right, so then you come back and you're like, what? Yeah, yeah,
Anywhere from grammatical errors and technical errors and getting the time, like, yeah, and it's sleep. It's and it always served me a great purpose to just get like a good 8 hours of sleep, recharge,
every day.
refresh. Yeah, refresh, give it a break, give the book a break, and just let it reset, refresh. Give the platform some time for your numbers to kind of do what it needs to do, and you go do take care of other responsibilities. But yeah, I know the pressure is on because we have to keep up with those
Uh,
criteria metrics. But yeah, but it's even more important to the rest, recharge, reset. You
I
know,
tried. I go so hard and then I crash, and then
yeah,
I crash,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
something bad happens and I go hard and I crash, and it's not good to be like that. You have to be balanced. You got to be balanced. Sleep is very important in everything in life. It helps you bring the best version of yourself. Yeah,
Yes, it
100%.
does. And professionalism, like you were saying, professionalism, like
Very
dig deep,
important.
learn all about what you need to do
Especially in
to
your industry, because you need the authority for your business. You need to show
yeah.
authority that you know what you're doing. Slip up
Mhm,
anything, people will remember it, like
mhm.
not necessarily, but if people dig hard enough, they'll find your internet presence. Yeah.
But and the thing about it, like, what would you say to some people who are new that they don't have a clue or an idea of what it means to
Yeah,
employ
like,
professionalism, professional tactics? Like, what does it
yeah.
mean? And what things that you look for to say that okay, that's professional? Like, what does professional looks like? Would probably be the question for some that's looking to embark this
Yeah,
journey.
what does professional look like? And can I maintain it? Like, for real, real.
Yeah,
And think about all the other history you've done on the internet too, because like it's been taught, been said before, everything lasts forever. Like right now, you can download all your Facebook data, even things that you deleted. That's how crazy it is. But your brand authority, especially if you got a business, is very important. You don't want them thinking, "Oh, she beat up her husband yesterday" or something like this. You know what I mean? Hey, there's anything wrong if people want to express their life, but if you're in a line of business, don't mix the two.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And make sure that you are in sync with like the time on things or what's going on. Like make sure you're narrating really good with your
yeah,
time. Don't confuse your audience in any way. Make sure you're giving proper like hashtags and proper updates
yeah,
so they can be educated early, especially if you have really good supporters who are really following you closely. They love what you do. Don't miss the opportunity to not clear up and keeping them properly informed and updated of what's
yeah.
going on with you because you never know that potential supporter may any given day have the potential to bless you at any
Exactly, exactly.
great.
So
Yeah.
even what I'm saying is like be your real self. So what you're ready to show the world type thing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like be your
Yeah.
real self because like the realness in business is what's craved these days. We don't want to see some supermodel hired millions of dollars to advertise this product and say it's good. You know what I mean? We want real people. Yeah.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah. We want real people. We want people that love their job. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree 100% with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
I've got one more question for you. If you could change anything about social media, what would it be? And let me do it the other way. How do you stay motivated in such a competitive industry? Do you find any competition or you're in your own lane? I think you tapped into this. And if you could change anything about social media, what would it be?
If I could change anything about social media, I would want to see more of the way that they provide or support, like support team, the meta support team. If I had the power
Mhm.
to change or change anything about social media, it would be the way that the meta support team is how they're involved and how they interact. I would want to see more. I would want to see more of who I'm talking with
Yeah,
or who,
exactly, exactly. Like the
who
people behind all this, like, yeah, I'm with you there.
yeah. I would want to see who is more like, who am I engaging with or talking to. I would want to see
Yeah,
them more versus like chatting and talking. I would
yeah,
say like, okay, hey, you're speaking with, but
yeah.
that's the
Like
way.
hello, customer service, like a real one. Like especially when it comes to appealing restrictions or anything like that. You want to talk and you know what I mean, like
And
having a human interaction. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, a video, like video
yeah,
support.
video. Yeah,
Because yeah, and when I mean like I want to see more, I mean like I think what I was trying to say, because I don't want to confuse anyone with my answer. I think what I was trying to say more like I would love for them to promote, like, you know, or like advertise or commercialize
yeah.
who what meta support team looks like who are
Right.
you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah,
the way that we work, we're always calling someone we don't get to see, but
yeah,
it's all good. I think it will serve, Meta well, the Meta support well, the platform well is
yeah.
for users and the professional users and the content creators to kind of get a visual
Um,
flash across,
yeah,
like on a real channel, like who are you, like who 9 times out of 10, who are we, who's helping us, who's supporting us,
yeah. I think it's gonna
And,
get there. I think it
yeah,
will. Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to get the vibes like, who am I
yeah,
speaking with?
yeah.
Oh,
And these days with AI and the robots, it could be that, you know? Yeah, when you don't see, but you said you've spoken to him on the phone. I've always done emails and stuff like this or the
yeah,
receipts, and it's never ending, you know? But
yeah. I would work on that. If I would change, I would change like the channels, like and just kind of like make them become more like, the meta support team and the
yeah,
interface, like commercialize it a little bit more. That's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's beautiful. And the second part of that question was, and how do you stay? Do you find competition? Competition is a big thing with this thing. Like some people feel like they got to be better than somebody else. Do you feel? How do you stay motivated if you feel the competition or you don't? You're motivated because you don't see competition. Like, I don't know how to ask this question, but the question was, how do
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah,
you?
it's a good question because I kind of think, because if you're not careful with that type of with that type of deal, that issue there, if you're not careful, you
Yeah,
can find your toxic situations.
yeah,
Um, some people, their maturity level is, some people's
yeah,
maturity levels are not on, not
yeah,
good with certain things.
yeah,
So you have to know and understand where you should be able to compete in a healthy environment, or space or atmosphere. You don't want to attach yourself to the toxic competitiveness, because it can get there. It can get, nasty. It can get like mean. It really can. So just like I was touching on earlier, in my days of kind of dig deep so hard, and because I knew that the competition was real, like I didn't really want to kind of, involve myself in competition and unfair or unhealthy competition where I would not succeed. So it is fair. It is fair for one to go and try to, recreate themselves, rebrand, compete, with positivity, and yeah, and be fair, but just don't do it with meanness. Don't be so quick to feel intimidated, because I think we're all trying to put our best foot forward, with our creativity, with our business, and with our what we're doing with our career, and to be successful. So just don't be so sensitive, is what I would say. On the other side of the spectrum, it's not good to be so sensitive. Have an open mind, about it, and you just kind of dig deep and you find out what you're good at, you're great at, and yeah, go hard, go hard, for it, and just understanding, like the questions you were touching on, understanding what your audience level, your engagement, like just do a well-rounded, good, sufficient, discovery, and educate yourself
and there's an
on how.
audience for everyone. You just gotta find them by staying true to
Yeah, you gotta
yourself.
find the right touch. Yeah, to compete, and compete in a healthy and good environment, and it's not toxic, or mean or
Yeah,
anything like that. But it's all, it's promote, you can promote
Mm,
healthy.
yeah. Okay. So we've come to the end of the interview, and I want to thank you so very much. And I would love you to come back on the show periodically so we can see your journey through. That's what I do with all my guests because I'm showcasing people's lives that are in the industry. Um, yeah, I hope you come and join us so we can share on your journey and lessons because you learn every day in this industry. In life in general, you learn every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
I'm
about
just I'm
it.
so glad. It's just I am so glad and thankful for this opportunity that you've given me to kind of put, to speak on it and voice who I am and express myself. So very thankful.
And thank you again because so many people want to know about who are the people behind all the social. So many people want to know. So everybody's gonna thank you for letting us know, giving us
Yeah.
history insight. Yeah. All right, let me stop the recording here. Hold on.